Hi everyone! Welcome to Mental Melodies. This is my new talk show. I'm going to be going live every week at 4 p.m. with new episodes starting on Tuesdays. Thank you so much for being here. I was just thinking earlier about how I have been wanting to do some kind of a podcast or a talk show for years, and it's so interesting how things kind of unfold in our lives. Um, from the moment that I decided I was going to do it, and then things fell out, and I tried to get on social media and that didn't work out. One thing led to another, and now here I am. I'm going to just tell you a little bit about myself for the first few minutes of the show, and then we'll take a break. I'll tell you about the show, why I'm here, what my mission statement is, and I'm going to give you guys opportunities to come on the show and talk to me, so I'll talk to you about what that's all about also. So reeling it back a little bit, again, I'm Carmynn Bradley. I live here in Las Vegas. I've been here for about 5 years now. I never thought I would end up here, and I thought when I first moved here that I would leave. But now I'm grateful to be here. I've had a whole network of people just come into my life to get me to this spot, so that's really cool. I'm a singer and a songwriter. I sing at a bar called Don't Tell Mama. I highly recommend that you go visit it. It's in Neonopolis, so you can park in the underground parking garage. If you check their Facebook, you can see the days that I'm singing. It's usually like 1 to 2 times a month, and my friends are there too. One thing I've really loved about being an artist in Vegas is just being around so many talented people. I was just talking to my director about how there's just so much talent and there's room for everybody, and I think once you start getting successful, you learn how to support your friends, be there for them, cheer them on. It's not about me getting to the top, it's about us growing and learning together. And I've grown and learned quite a bit to get to this point. Me as a singer has been an interesting journey for sure. Before I moved to Las Vegas, I was living in Florida. There was a lot of live music there, and I just had this thought, like, I want to be playing live music. I want to be up there in bars, entertaining. I was like tapping into my inner child who used to sing in choir and like at family events and stuff like that. But there were a lot of things from when I was a child until before I moved to Vegas that I guess like got in the way, broke my voice, all of those things. And this show is not just for me to open my voice back up again, but also to give an opportunity for other people to open up their voices. I haven't said it yet, but this show is going to be geared toward mental health. So that's a little bit more about me. Before I became a performer, I taught high school for 8 years, and that's actually what got me really passionate about mental health, because throughout that time I saw what kids were going through, how families felt about what kids were going through, how schools dealt with mental health, and I had just always had this kind of nagging feeling that one day I was going to find a way to talk about mental health in schools and kind of at least fix it or bring some kind of awareness to it and just mental health in general. So being a high school teacher definitely was a part of my journey, and there's a lot of stuff that I learned then that I need in order to do what I want now. After I taught high school, I was a mental health practitioner. So I worked with PTSD, depression, bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, anorexia, bulimia, so many different things. If you don't know what it is, the DSM-5 is kind of what I'm quoting from. That's the Diagnostic Statistic Manual of Mental Health. It's kind of like the Bible for mental health. So like me personally, I've been diagnosed with a lot of different things within that book, and I'm going to use this show to tell you a bit about my story and how I've healed from those things. When I was thinking about like my mission statement for this show, I was just really pondering how healing is missing from a lot of the mental health messages that we hear, and especially when you do get diagnosed with something and you get sick. You're not always told that you can heal. You're told that you need to take medications for the rest of your life or something like that. So more on that in the next segment. I just wanted to give you a bit of my background on that. And like I said, I'm going to be inviting people in to kind of share their stories. I am also an actress. That's kind of how I got, well, that is how I got here, not kind of. If you watch, there's a show, what is it called? The Crime Solver, that one that goes live at noon. Don Sullivan there.
Vegas Views.
Vegas Views, yes. So you can watch that also on social media shows. And Dawn on that show, she was kind of my push into this industry. Showed up at Dream Tracks Academy back in February, and since then my life has just completely changed. I've done competitions. I learned to play the guitar. I really started back in February. I got a coach, and I was just learning and working week by week by week. Just really following through on commitments to myself. So one thing I've always wanted to do was act. I would tell my students actually when I was teaching, like, you're going to see me in movies one day. But you know, when you get to that point where you want to do things, but you're questioning yourself, there was a lot of doubt. And I really did have to walk away from that career in order to like sit in the discomfort of doing something new. And that's kind of where I'm at with this show, like just sitting in the discomfort of it being the first day and not knowing exactly what I'm going to say, but just knowing that it will unfold over time. I think it's going to be a healing experience for me and for people that I bring on the show, and hopefully for you listening. So yeah, that's a bit about me. What else do I do? Well, I'm a talk show host, you know that now. I'm working on stand-up comedy. I go to the Nerd every Wednesday. It starts at 6:30 our sign up. So if you're a new comedian or you just want to come check it out, you can. It's totally free. It's on the same complex that Don't Tell Mama is. So I'm really marketing that area. Come visit us. We're hanging out. There's a really cool spot upstairs called Notoriety I just learned about last week. They have comedy shows and a country singer and just like rooms and rooms and rooms of events, and it's pretty cheap, $10 for locals, which comes out to like $18 because of all those taxes and fees and all of that. But anyway, these are just places that I hang out where I'm learning and growing as a new performer, so I want to invite you all in on that. Eventually I'd like to be doing like stand-up shows, and something I've been thinking about is just like being a woman in this industry. It's kind of a follow-up from Honeybees, which I was doing a couple weeks ago with our friends JC and Sonia, which you see on other shows also here. And comedy is something that's very male-dominated. So just watch me rise with all the men. That's my plan. Back in high school, I used to swim. This is my time to talk about me. So I swam in high school, and one thing I've been thinking about recently is that I used to actually practice with the boys because I got to a point where I was so quick that was where I needed to be. And I feel like I'm kind of back in a like strong woman stance where I'm just kind of pushing against the stereotypes, or I don't know, whatever it is. I'm 32 and I'm living a very different life than I thought I was going to live. I'm not married. I don't have kids. The ending of my story is not finding the prince, and that's totally cool. I love that for me. And I guess, yeah, those are some things that I really, really believe in that I'm going to be talking about. This is a moment. This is one of those moments, yes, where I'm feeling like, what comes next? What do I say next? I was telling myself before I started that I would just take a moment to breathe. Back when I was a counselor, there were moments like this where we would have like a moment of silence, and you really have to help your clients carry that moment. I guess something that I should say as a disclaimer is that if I bring you onto the show, it's not psychotherapy. I have to say that because I was under the umbrella of Nevada mental health practitioners, and so while I do have that experience, I'm not really on here as a counselor. I'm on here as a talk show host and a human who really, really cares about mental health. And while I do have a lot of expertise to share, I will let anybody know who's really struggling to please go find a therapist. But there are things I think that you can get out of coming here and being asked questions by me and having an opportunity to share your story that perhaps you wouldn't get in therapy. And we can also talk about this as the show goes on. Something that I think is just really important is just having things out in the open. something I'll talk about a little more in the next segment is just this shame in our society. Like, things are kept quiet. Things that you go through when you're going through a mental health journey can make you feel like you are on the outskirts of society, like you don't belong. And that's a feeling that I don't want anybody to have. So I want to help break that apart for myself and for all of my guests on the show, where you can just come in and tell your story without any shame and start to just shed all of those things that like keep you locked up, keep you down. Just let go of all of that. So yeah, that's a bit about my journey. In our next segment, like I said, I'm just going to talk more about the show and what we're going to be talking about, and give you a little glimpse into some of the mental health things that I'll be covering. And thank you, and I'll be back soon.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
Hi, I'm Deacon T with Modern Word Ministries. It's great to be with you today. Just a short little promo for our show. Every Sunday morning we have service, and you can follow us at 10 a.m. Pacific Time on modernwordministries.org. And if you missed us or you want to see some of our older messages, go ahead and check us out on socialmediashows.com every single morning at 9 a.m. It's a great way to kick off your day, get a little bit of the word in you, get something uplifting, get you started off on your way. You know, if you're looking for prayer or you need some help, reach out to us. If you go to our website, again, that's modernwordministries.org, you can interact with me via telephone, via DM, text message, whatever you want. I'll get right back to you. So if you need prayer, you need help, you just need somebody to talk to, Modern Word Ministries is here for you. We are your church in the community. So until you see you next time, be blessed, everybody. Bye-bye.
Now on digital and DVD.
Hit it.
Space Wars: Quest for the Deep Star is an epic sci-fi adventure.
Do what needs to be done.
An edge-of-your-seat wild ride.
We have company.
Tons of popcorn-munching fun. 5 stars. A love letter to the sci-fi films of the 70s and 80s. With plenty of action and fun for all. You need to see it. You really do.
The captain just decided it's time to go.
I am ready for a sequel. Experience a bold new adventure. Space Wars: Quest for the Deep Star.
A good old-fashioned adventure.
Now on digital and DVD.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Mental Melodies. I'm your host here, Carmynn Bradley. I appreciate you tuning in, especially for my premiere episode. Like I said, I'm going to talk to you more about the show now so you kind of know who I am and what I'm passionate about. I guess I sort of told you that, but I am very passionate about mental health, and I've kind of been waiting for an opportunity to have a platform to talk about these things, and now I have a platform to talk about these things, and I think that's definitely really cool. So I have a general idea that the show is going to be something that will promote awareness of mental health, which includes illnesses, it includes depression, it includes anxiety, it includes body image disorders and eating disorders, it includes trauma, it will include childhood trauma. There will be awareness about borderline personality disorder, which is basically the girls are crazy diagnosis in the DSM-5 and ADHD, and then talking about how these diagnoses can help you and how they can hurt you. That's something that I think is really important. If you get a diagnosis, it doesn't mean you're going to be sick forever. So like I mentioned in the first segment, the key thing on the other side of that coin is that healing is real and that healing is possible. And I want to talk to you about my healing journey and the healing journey of others that I've known. It is totally possible to get stuck in being sick. And there were some times that I got stuck in being sick, where I was stuck in these reactions to things. I was panicked all of the time. There are ways that you can help that. And once you start taking control over these things and the ways that your mind reacts to things and the ways that your body reacts to things, you can start to have more control over your life. And that's really what I want for other people. I guess as a mental health counselor, wanting something for someone was almost like not allowed. I wanted things for my clients, but as a counselor, you have to kind of take a step back from that and let them show you what they want, and let them show you where they're at in their healing journey and what they want out of your sessions. So sometimes I had to take my desires 3 steps back and meet a client where they were at, and there's a lot of value in that. But here I can want things for anybody that I want to, and what I want for everybody is to be aware of their own reactions and of the things that are going on in their own world and in their own mind, and give them the power to change them if they want to. So I think about how I mentioned in my first segment, I've been manifesting, if you use that language, praying for whatever language you use for just setting an intention and then following through on it. I set an intention to talk about mental health and to bring awareness to it like 5 years ago when I was doing, frantic Instagram posts, and people were responding, but I didn't have a lot of follow through. So I kind of had to take a step back. I took some social media breaks and I started making vision boards and living life a little bit more, taking care of myself. And then I learned all of these things, and then now I'm at this point where I feel that I can actually share those things with you. When I first had the thought of a show, I was going to call it The Daily Intent, because something that has been monumental for me in my journey is having words to guide me in my actions. You can wake up in the morning and tell yourself, I need more blank today, positivity. If you need more positivity, you wake up in the morning and you kind of commit to it. But then don't think about it. It's almost like you plant a seed in your mind, and then you'll notice that you'll start to do things in a more positive way because you made a decision in the morning to do that. So what I would do is I would pick a day every day and I would reflect. I was doing a lot of journaling back then. I would write down at night like how I was feeling and what I learned from the day, and then use that in the morning as kind of a platform for what my new word was going to be. So if I knew I was really frantic because Mercury is in Gatorade right now, and I've been spilling water all over the place. The Gatorade's a joke. But I've been spilling water all over the place and just like dropping things, and I could blame that on Mercury retrograde like I just did, or I could say to myself, wow, I've been really frantic. I need to be more mindful. I need to take a moment to slow down. I won't be dropping things if I'm like going one step at a time and not trying to do a million things at once. So yeah, that was kind of the origin of how I got here. And because I wouldn't be able to talk to you about healing had I not healed. And while healing is not some linear thing, and it's not like you take step by step and there's a book you can read, and then once you follow all those steps, you're done. It's a very personalized journey. But like I said, if I had, like I did try a few years ago, sat in front of you and talked about healing, I wouldn't be able to, because I was in an unhealed portion of my life. And so, like I said, I still have way more healing to do, but I do feel I'm in a position to give back in this way, and to help people who maybe are a little bit confused about where to go, or even like what to believe about mental illness. There's just so many things out there. There's so many things on Instagram. And if you're in a spot in your life where you are stuck, like you're depressed or you're anxious, you're going to see a lot of that. And something I've been working on in my healing journey is kind of like peeling away those layers. Like there are things in your mind that are going to create the world around you, and you can start to change your beliefs and literally like take those shutters off and see the world in a different way. Like I swear to you, I see color more brightly than I used to, because when I was depressed, literally my world was more gray, and I couldn't see that I brought the color into a place too. Like I wasn't allowed to exist. And there are a lot of people that don't feel like they can take up space in a room. So again, like looking forward, if you want to come on the show and give yourself a little chance to like exist in the spotlight for a second, that can be really healing for people, as you can sit here and feel like, wow, this person's going to listen to me, or these people are going to listen to me, and I get to say stuff that maybe my family doesn't want to hear, you know, because that's a big thing with mental health. You feel isolated because your family members don't know what you're going through, and so you become the black sheep of the family. And a lot of people with mental health issues identify themselves that way. And so identity is another, I guess, big thing. If I'm outlining out some of the stuff I'm going to cover, intentions are big. Awareness is huge. Identity is huge. You kind of have to change yourself and decide who you're going to be if you want to let go of all those things that you are. And that is very challenging and very, very scary. And so I think that my story also will give strength to people. You know, there was a time when I didn't really know how to share my story without bringing other people down. Like, again, when I was in that space, it was like, I just want somebody to listen to me, so I'm going to tell you what I'm going through. But this show, in this moment, Mental Melodies, is not necessarily about what I'm going through so much as what I've gone through and the things that I've learned, and then how I'm using them now and how other people can use them. I've had a lot of people help me along this journey, and so there are a lot of resources I'll throw out to you as well. Like I said, as a disclaimer in the last segment, I'm not here as a mental health practitioner. I'm here as someone who has practiced in that field, but I want to be in the spotlight where I'm free to say stuff about the mental health world that maybe I couldn't say as a counselor, where I can tell you like, hey, get a second opinion, or like think before you take medication when you're in your 20s, like stuff that I've been through, that I think can help people make a little bit, I don't want to say smarter, but smarter, maybe more well-informed decisions about their health, especially if you're in a space where you have to kind of make that decision. Because when you do get sick, mentally or physically or otherwise, you have to make time for it. There's that, what is it? There's like a meme out that says something about that. Like, if you don't make time for your health, you're going to have to make time for your illness. So it's basically a choice, right? It's those two sides of that coin. Like, I'm going to make time for my depression when I have to, but wouldn't you rather make time for your health and your happiness and all of those things? And so I'm going to talk about that, like, duality, I guess. The show title Mental Melodies is about that. It's about two different things. Like, I chose not to say mental health and just to use the word mental, because then I could talk about what that word means, right? Like, we say mental health, but I think people actually think mental illness when they think mental health, right? Like, I'm taking a mental health day, but really you're sick. I think Sonia posted something about this, like, I want to take a healthy day. Like, I don't want to go to work because I want to go live my life. I think that's really funny. But anyway, so the other side of that coin is melodies, which is supposed to imply music, but also healing. So there's that healing side of it, because definitely without music, I wouldn't have found my voice. Without singing, I would be very locked up. And singing is a way that you can talk about things without talking about them, you know, or use the emotions of other people. It's very similar to acting. I'm going on a tangent, but basically what I was saying, right, was that there's this duality that I want to present in this show about mental health and about healing, right? And so I want you to be able to see that being aware of things like depression and post-traumatic stress disorder and all of those things I keep listing is so important. But awareness doesn't do anything, right? Like I can run a 5K and people are more aware that people have cancer or whatever, but it's in the healing journey where you can really make a change, where you can be aware of it and then you can move forward from it. So when I get back from my next break, I'm going to sing a little bit of a song and talk to you about why I chose that song and then give you some closing words. So thank you and stick around. I'll be right back.
Shopping for a new home is an exciting time, and the mortgage process just got easier. New American Funding's all-digital mortgage application takes all the hassle out of applying for a mortgage. Simply put in your information and we do the rest. Safely and securely verify your income, assets, and tax information electronically. Plus, you get access to track the progress of your application anytime, anywhere. Less questions, less paperwork, less hassle, and instant access. Ready to start shopping for your new home? Let's get started.
Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Skoda with Social Media Shows. Well, I thank all of you for your support through these last several years, and it's been a lot of fun. We've given people a voice they never had before. Now, Social Media Shows is always collaborating with our veterans to help them do things and help out the veterans who are struggling today. And we teamed up with GI Connections, connecting veterans with resources. So please consider helping and donating to this great cause because we're always doing things for veterans. So GI Connections, Social Media Shows, and you is what makes the world a better place. Once again, Joseph Skoda, proud United States Air Force veteran.
Today I don't feel like doing anything. I'm just gonna lay in my bed. Don't feel like picking up my phone, so leave a message at the tone. 'Cause today I swear I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna kick my feet up and stare at the fan, turn the TV on, throw my hand down my pants, 'cause nobody's gonna tell me I can't. Just sitting on the couch and chilling in my snuggie, tick to MTV so they can teach me how to Dougie. In my castle, I'm the man. Oh yes, I said it, 'cause I can. Today I don't feel like doing anything. I just wanna lay in my bed. Don't feel like picking up my phone, so leave a message at the tone. 'Cause today I swear I'm not doing anything. Nothing at all. Ooh, 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 ooh. Nothing at all. Ooh, 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 ooh. Today I'm not doing anything. I just need some rest. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Nothing at all. Thank you. I'm just gonna put my guitar down for 1 second. And I'm back. I chose that song, that's Bruno Mars' Lazy Day. I chose that song partially because I saw a friend sing it, and so I just get these like moments of inspiration, so I was like, that sounds cool. But then as I was practicing it, I realized that there was this like double message if you want to talk about like depression, so that's why I added my own little line at the end about rest. I'm thinking back to when I was talking about that duality, right? About like mental health and healing and all of that and how they go together. It's kind of like this yin and yang, right? So the song is very lighthearted and it's very positive, And I want my show to be lighthearted and positive as much as possible, but it's also serious, right? And there are things that we want to bring awareness to that are very serious and can be very heavy. So finding that balance is really important in your healing journey. There are going to be times when you're not going to want to do anything. And maybe you're really depressed and you need to find a way to push your own carriage, but maybe you also just need some rest. I've seen Jim Carrey talk about this before. He says like depression, if you put it into 2 words, means deep rest. So sometimes you just need rest. Like if you've had PTSD for years and years and years and you start to heal, you're going to need to take a deep breath and allow your body to heal and like catch up from all the things you've been thinking about and healing from. So taking a lazy day and just doing nothing is really important. As a really, really busy artist myself, I've got my hands in all these different things. I talked about it, right? Like I've been going to stand-up comedy and I've been planning this talk show, and with that comes practicing the guitar and learning new songs. I have a young student also of guitar. She's 12 years old, so I'm bouncing around to that. There's so many different things. Like, how do I keep up with all of that? And so I have to force myself sometimes to rest. When you have a lot more autonomy of your schedule, which is cool, that's something I've manifested for myself. You also have to like prioritize the things that will keep you healthy. It's not just about going. And I mean, that was one of the reasons that I left teaching, was just because I had no control over my time. I had to be there from 7 in the morning till whatever, and then I got home and then I was still working. And so being in a position where my mind is a little freer, I have the power to do more things, but with that comes like taking it back and allowing it to envelop with its own time, right? Like if I cared so much about things being perfect or getting them all done right away, I wouldn't be here, because this is not perfect yet. You know, like I'm still making my reel next week, and there are things that I still want to learn on the guitar, but I'm going to grow as this show grows. And so I'm just kind of jumping right in and just letting it unfold. So I will be right back to do some closing thoughts.
Las Vegas, here we come!
I can't believe we're all moving to Vegas.
I know, right? It's a dream come true.
Wow, super creepy dude.
Mason, stop. I think he heard you.
What if someone locked up in the back of his semi?
She's gone. Someone took her. Who's that creepy trucker?
What are you doing?
They call me Mother Trucker.
Got Films is a full-service production company that provides motion picture quality content and production services for use in the film and TV industry. Looking for a seasoned crew, high-quality equipment, or other production services for your film, TV, commercial, corporate convention, sports, news, or interview project? Your search stops here. Some of our projects include NASCAR, American Restoration, Pawn Stars, Counting Cars, Top Chef, BattleBots, Forge and Fire, and Street Outlaws. We have also produced over 60 feature films and documentaries. We're ready for all your needs. Whatever your project, whatever your budget, big or small, Got Films got you. GotFilms.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Carmynn Bradley here on Mental Melodies. I hope you enjoyed my song. I'm just gonna do a lot of shout outs right now. So like I said before, if you want to sing me live, hit up Don't Tell Mama on Facebook, follow them. You can see who's singing. Just in general, go to that Neonopolis area. Go visit Skippy Sprinkles. He heads up the comedy event at the Nerd, and he's totally cool. And everyone there is really welcoming, and you'll see me there too. Not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, because work and a million other things. Go ahead and go to Instagram and follow me, Carmynn Bradley. My first name is CARMYNN_Bradley. You can find me on Facebook as Carmynn Bradley as well. And then go ahead and go to Mental Melodies Talk Show, and you can follow this. I plan to post some stuff, like if I talk about intentions one day, or if I talk about depression, hopefully posting some things that will just liven up your feed with some healthy things about mental health and some healthy tips. One person that I've been thinking about throughout this show was Mel Robbins. You might already know of her. She's like, I think, one of the highest paying female speakers or something. But she talked about in a podcast just really sitting with that discomfort, which I talked about earlier. So just look her up for a little bit of a listen. Also, there's a lot of great stuff that I learned from her, and I think about it, really just that one thing that she said that stuck with me. I think about that a lot when I'm learning guitar, just learning new things in general, or being here on this talk show. I just think about that feeling of discomfort and how it gets less and less over time. When I used to teach yoga, it just got easier and easier and easier. And I think about when I started performing, also singing, it just gets easier and easier and easier. So if there's things that you feel like you want to do but you're not good enough now, just start, just jump in, just believe in yourself. I'd like to talk later about like the power of doubt too, and like, I don't know, there's that whole duality, right? Maybe doubt has some kind of purpose. Maybe it teaches you about your comfort zone, but don't let doubt stop you. And that's where, the other side of that coin is with self-belief and with just being courageous and taking challenges. That's something, like I said, I want for other people. If you can maybe hear that these are some of the things that I've done. Like, you look at me now, I'm a singer, an actress, a model, talk show host, like a aspiring, I did not want to, don't say wannabe, say aspiring, I think it's stronger, comedian, all these things. If you've never met me before, you're just gonna say, hey, that's Carmynn Bradley and she does all these cool things, but before I did all these cool things, I was not doing them. And so I think unveiling that, it's been a journey. I didn't just wake up one day with all of these things. It's gonna be the same for you if you're at a spot where you want to, I don't know, liven up your life with some newness. One tiny trick outside of intentions while I'm thinking about it is if you're feeling kind of stuck, take a different way to work. So just go down a different street or something like that. Just, you can even do a handstand against the wall if you can't do it on the ground. But there's just so many things that you can do to break it up. So anyway, tangent aside, follow me on social media. Follow Mental Melodies Talk Show. If you're here, you already know about social media shows, TV, but give them a follow if you're not following them. If you want to sponsor this show, this is obviously the first show, but looking forward, I do believe it's going to be very valuable to our community to spread awareness to mental health and to healing, and I would like help with that. I put in a lot of work these last couple weeks preparing for the show, and I will continue to put in work, and my director and myself would like some support in that. And then eventually, hopefully, we can also like donate to some mental health funds or whatever. That's looking ahead. We'll talk about that when we get to that bridge and we will cross it. But if you would like to support this show, just email admin@socialmediashows.com. What else do I need to say? Oh, and then if you want to be a guest, just reach out to me directly. You can also email me, carmynbradley@gmail.com. So if you want to sponsor, admin@socialmediashows.com. If you want to be on the show, email me. I'll probably talk to you a little bit beforehand if I don't already know you, just to kind of see like where you're at and what it is that you want to talk about, and then we'll bring you on. And that'll be it. This show streams live every weekday at 4 p.m. And then we'll be on for our next episode 1 week from now. And thank you so much for tuning in, for listening, for your eyes and your ears, and I hope to see you next time. See leave a message at the tone, 'cause today I swear I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna kick my feet up and stare at the fan, turn the TV on, throw my hand down my pants, 'cause nobody's gonna tell me